Hello, welcome to the 91st, no, is it 91st? 92nd episode of the Karstcast Moviecast. Hey, Jeff, what process does milk undergo to become yogurt?
Jared?
I'm going to go with lacto-fermentation, Bob.
It is close. It is bacterial fermentation.
Okay, you were close, though.
You were pretty close, yeah. Closer than
so.
Jeff probably would have been, I'm going to say.
Yeah, I was going to say photosynthesis.
So yeah, we have Jared here today. Jared's back.
Yep.
Was
it my fourth? Something?
I think it's the third,
one of those.
To be honest. Fourth.
Okay, only third.
I was on Patreon.
That doesn't count.
He was
No
on the
one hears
Patreon.
those.
Yeah.
Nobody hears those. Wait, subscribe to the Patreon. Patreon.com/Karstcast.
Thanks, Jared. Jared's doing a better job than we are at promoting it. But yeah, this is the holiday episode. So
Yeah, so we watched a holiday-themed movie. Tenet.
Yeah.
Technically, it is about all the past and future holidays.
Right, yeah.
Yeah, we're going to get into that. About
sure.
all its relation just to holidays.
Yeah. Have you guys finished your holiday shopping at all? Did you anything fun or
Was your projector part of holiday shopping?
No, I talked about this on here, but we watched Tenet on the projector.
Oh yeah.
Pretty good.
Yeah.
So it was good. The funniest part was there's only like 5 seats you can actually sit in this room because it's kind of small.
Oh,
and
yeah.
one of them is directly next to the projector's exhaust port. So my dad had to move mid-movie because he got so hot from the projector exhaust.
Yeah, I didn't tell him.
Wow.
I knew that was going to happen. I didn't tell him just because I thought maybe he wouldn't notice.
Damn. That's it's a 4D experience. Yeah, you caught me on a bad day. I woke up like an hour ago. Well, a little earlier than that. Just got out of the shower. So we're barely hanging in there. But yeah. What else?
Your head is framed really well by the sweater because it kind of feels like it's just like pointing at your head. It's kind of like this.
Yeah. It's everything leads to the head.
Yeah.
How have you guys' week been? By the way, besides,
well, Jared actually had to quarantine for 2 weeks to be in this house.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Because I went to a COVID hospital and I just started licking everything because I didn't believe in the virus.
Yeah, and now he does.
And now
he does. Yeah.
Yeah, I flew back to Florida, and then so we just quarantined for 2 weeks, and then yesterday was my first day back here, and Jeff brought us back and had us celebrate by making us watch a 2.5-hour movie.
Yeah.
I was gonna say I felt really bad that you guys had to. We'll get into it, but like Tenet is I feel like it's just a lot, and it's just a long.
It's a lot.
Dense,
it's long.
confusing.
It also costs $20.
It does cost $20.
The thing though is that since I made everyone watch it, it was 5 people, so it was really only $4 a person.
See, that's nice. I paid the full $20 to sit
just for yourself.
Yeah, but
I will say this: less than half of our family members enjoyed this film.
Yeah, so I mean, that's what I would have expected in my family.
Yeah. Also, I pretty much paused it right after the first scene, and then I was like, "So I should turn on subtitles, right?"
Yeah.
And then I did.
Yeah. We'll get into all of that.
Yeah.
I guess I have one more thing. I put out Long Toast. That was my thing.
You did?
Okay,
Jared. Yeah, he made a video that's called Long Toast. Actually, you know what? It's not that long, so I can actually pull it up and you can watch it and get your reaction live.
Long toes.
It's 40 seconds long.
It's not Long Toes.
Nice long toes.
Yeah. Long Toes is the sequel.
When we didn't see him put the toast or the bread into the toast. Into the toaster. Am I to believe when he put it in, it was the length of a normal piece of bread?
Yeah. That's to be, yeah. So
I kind of envisioned it being like one of those magic tricks where there's a hole in the table and in the bottom of the toaster, so the magician replaced it with a longer piece of toast.
Mm-hmm. He's also asleep at the beginning, so we can assume maybe he left it in there, and it's just that's what happens when you leave toast in for. That's not. I just came up with that just now. But
It looked like the amount of jam he put on was that just the amount he intended to put on the original piece, and then we're supposed to see.
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
Wow, look how big the bread is. It's bigger than he expected. Look at how much jam he put on. That's how big he expected it to be.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So,
okay.
And then the banana peel. Yeah, I don't know.
That wasn't there in the beginning, was it?
It wasn't there in the beginning. No, that kind of just appeared.
Who put that there?
I don't know. I think it just it's a movie full of magic. It's I can't explain these things. But yeah, that's what I did this week.
Very reminiscent of the work of Jack Stauber, if you ask me.
That's what people keep saying. I don't know who that is, but people have commented that.
Really?
Wait. Let me wait.
Look up his one of his, because your guy looks like the guy on one of his album covers.
Oh, that guy. Yeah. All right. I know that guy. Anyways,
you said that like you didn't like the guy.
Didn't like
No, I know the guy. Yeah, good guy. Anyways,
do you know him personally?
No. But
you know he's a good guy.
I know he's a good guy. Yeah, he could be a. We should just get into the movie today. Today we're talking about Tenet. Well, that's the first movie we're talking about. We're talking about Tenet. It's a 2020 film directed by Christopher Nolan, and the synopsis reads: a secret agent is given a single word as his weapon and sent to prevent the onset of World War III. He must travel through time and bend the laws of nature in order to be successful in his mission.
Wait, he's given a single word?
The word is
Tenet, yeah.
And I just realized right now that Tenet is a palindrome, so that kind of plays into the film.
Yeah. I saw that back, in the poster, and I was like, oh, that's cool.
Wait, you knew what it was about?
No, I just knew that it was I was like, Tenet spelled backwards is also Tenet, But nice. I didn't.
Dude, it's kind of messed up how palindrome spelled backwards isn't a palindrome.
It is. Yeah. Carson, what's your favorite palindrome?
Mom.
What's your favorite one?
I don't.
Okay, do you ever also think about how onomatopoeia technically can be an onomatopoeia if you try hard enough?
What?
Like you stub your toe and you go, onomatopoeia.
I mean, because it could be.
Right?
Yeah. What is you guys' favorite?
Mine is a Santa at NASA. Or a man a plan a canal Panama. Both long and girthy palindromes.
I keep it simple, but Jared likes to get fancy with it. What about you, Jeff?
Yeah, well, I keep thinking of portmanteaus instead, which are not at all related. But my favorite portmanteau is Texarkana.
That's
not what we asked. So
no, yeah, palindrome. Wait.
See, that's why I went with mom.
I can't think.
It's an easy one.
It is an easy one, but it made you sound kind of lame.
Yeah,
kayak.
Kayak's not a bad one, actually.
Oh, kayak's a good one.
Race car.
Yeah, race car.
That's good.
Race car versus kayak. Who would win in the palindrome and land speed battle?
Well, kayaks don't move on land. If anything, they make you slower because you have to run while holding the kayak.
True.
Yeah.
Fair.
I don't know a lot of them now that I think about it, but
yeah.
I'll
Anyways.
go with mom. Anyways, Tenet.
Tenet.
So what did you guys watch this with your family? Who liked it and who didn't, I guess? Did either of you like this or?
I enjoyed it.
Right, yeah. I kind of liked it.
Right. Okay.
Yeah, I went into it just knowing it was a Christopher Nolan film.
Yeah.
And so I was like, this is going to be like very make you think-y. And I think that my sister and mom, it's like the opposite of what they wanted. And so they hated it.
Yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
Carson, what's your favorite Christopher Nolan film?
I like Inception a lot. I think Inception is like this, but better. Because it toes the line of being like, oh, this is a fun, clever film. That's like, it's got like some cool things going on, and he's playing with the time thing. But it still works and is like, it makes sense at the end of the day, and it's fun.
Right, where this one didn't make sense to me until like it ended.
Yeah.
And then I'm like, I feel like I wish I understood this while I was watching it.
Yeah.
What I said yesterday was like, I kind of want to go back and watch it because I know there's a lot of stuff I missed, but I don't want to watch it because it's 2.5 hours long.
Yeah.
My favorite Nolan film is Dunkirk because you don't have to think at all.
Yeah, Dunkirk's very straightforward.
You don't even have to listen.
I prefer Jonathan Nolan, his brother, who is the executive producer of Westworld. You can listen to my Westworld podcast, Freeze on Motor Functions, wherever you listen to podcasts. Sorry.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
You could do that. Yeah.
You could. Yeah.
That's true.
Are you on YouTube, Jared? Do you have YouTube pod?
We had 2 episodes on YouTube before COVID happened, and then we couldn't do them. So.
You could do this. We just do this.
Well, that was like 8 months ago.
Yeah, that's true. I guess Westworld's not on right now.
Maybe if I jump into a turnstile, I can go back and make YouTube videos for my podcast.
But you'll be running. Wait, you'll be talking backwards though.
But you can play it at 2.5 times speed.
Backwards.
Backwards, yeah.
But then it would be 2.5 times speed forwards.
We'll figure it out.
Anyways,
how do you feel about the logic of this film, Karsten?
So I thought it was pretty dumb. I don't know. I just was. I won't lie, and I don't think I'm alone here, so I'm not afraid to say this. I was confused. And I was like,
yeah, I was confused.
I don't know what's going on. Because it's, okay, the thing that annoys me about it is because it's so confusing and hard to follow, but it's not at the same time. It's just, like, reversal and, like, going...
It shouldn't be hard to understand, but they make it harder to understand than it should be. Because at points, if you weren't paying super close attention, like... My sister was like, what's going on? And I'm like, isn't it obvious? They went back in time to then go forward in time.
Yeah.
She's like, what?
Yeah. It's just, I find it hard to believe that at some point in the process, like, Christopher Nolan didn't have, like, a headache putting this together and was like, yeah, this is worth it. Because the end
Didn't he
goal...
write it for, like, 5 years?
I think so, yeah. And it's just very sad that it's not that good.
Yeah, too bad he didn't go in a turnstile and then go back 5 years and stop himself from writing this.
I knew you were going to make that joke, Jeff. I just saw that coming. Anyways.
Okay, my thing is this. I feel like if I went back and watched it, I feel like he put so much time into it that everything probably makes total sense, but you just can't understand it while you're watching it.
That's,
I could have written something in like a few months that didn't make sense.
No, I feel like it does.
No one would care.
It makes sense if I went back and watched it, but I have no desire to do that.
Yeah. No, that's the thing. It's like,
I bet you all the loose ends are tied up.
Yeah.
He totally, like, worked it out so hard to make sure that everything lines up and that there aren't any, like, plot holes and, like, it all does make sense, but I don't think anyone else... The film does such a bad job at getting you to care at all about it to even put any effort into thinking about it that way.
The biggest issue I had was that the thing that made me, like, actually enjoy this film was when they started going into the turnstiles, like...
Yeah.
And they put that an hour and a half into the movie.
Yeah. Well, okay. I will say, I feel like I've talked a lot of shit about it, but I had a fun time watching this, regardless of how confusing and just kind of unnecessary a lot of that confusion was. Like, I thought it was fun.
Yeah, I still enjoyed it, but it just, I didn't like how hard I had to think while watching it.
Yeah.
I'm like, I just want to watch people rappel off of a building in India.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. I saw a good point somewhere on the internet that I'm going to just say again, but it's not an original thought.
We're not actually crediting who it was.
We're not going to credit who it was. I forget who said it.
But someone said it and it wasn't
Someone said this. That wasn't me. And it's that, like, I wish Nolan would just lean in to being action-y and just ridiculous, rather than trying to make, like, these really convoluted time films that have these deeper meanings about, like, existence. I'm like, why doesn't he just make a really fun action movie?
Why is it? He should just be smart Michael Bay.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah,
instead of, like, way too smart Michael Bay.
Right, because it's like the action sequences in this are so good.
Yeah,
I think
the best part.
Like, the car chase one is when I was like, okay, I've decided I like this movie. Like, I can't shit on this too hard. You want to skip spoilers because we get into them around now, although I will say it doesn't ruin much. But if you want to skip spoilers, go to the 31-minute, 30-second mark. I'll give you a few seconds. Yeah. All right.
A quick question. This isn't really... Okay, maybe it is a spoiler. I shouldn't say it yet. Never mind. Jared.
Okay, I'll say this. I liked all the action scenes except the one where they get to the Stars 12 or whatever, and they're like, who are they fighting? I never see the people they're fighting. They're just bullets flying everywhere and buildings exploding and then unexploding and then re-exploding. I literally could never like pick a side in that battle.
That was a very bad ending, I would say. Yeah.
Yeah, I guess we are in spoilers now.
I guess. I mean...
So yeah, I guess right before what Jared said, we'll just throw a spoiler tag.
What I'm going to say is that, like, for as much as we do spoil this movie, whatever is a spoiler, like... It's still, I don't think, would
your brain will be
ruin
working
the
too
movie.
hard to understand what's happening anyway.
No one watching is going to be like, oh, that's when Jeff and Carson said that.
Okay. Why did they shoot a rocket launcher at the same building forwards and backwards? I don't understand that.
Yeah, I also felt dumb. I was like, there's totally like that was supposed to be a really satisfying scene right there. And I was like,
I didn't understand any of it.
Process it. To be honest,
I'm like, Robert Pattinson's probably somewhere here, but I don't really understand where.
What I will say,
what he's doing. This
movie did like the bare minimum in setting up like who the bad guy was and who the good guys were, and that was all I really needed. I was like,
well, they helped by Nolan naming the protagonist.
Yeah, I didn't realize that
this guy
until like I think it was like well into the movie. I think they call him the protagonist. And then I looked it up and I was like, whoa, what a choice. I mean, like millions of dollars went into this thing and they called him the protagonist.
Protagonist, it's time for you to go into your innermost cave.
Yeah, that is something that annoys me about Christopher Nolan is that like for, again, like super confusing movies, so all over the place. But like he does not understand like the idea of subtext. Like a lot of like what he has to say is just said.
It's exposition.
Yeah,
it's so much exposition.
They're just talking about what the movie is about, and I'm like
they're explaining how the logic works. Even at one point when the scientists like don't think about it, just believe it works.
The scene where when they have that like wall with all the bullets in it, and the scientist is teaching him everything, and so like the audience is supposed to learn everything there. Yeah, if you took that out of context, it sounds like a parody of a Christopher Nolan movie.
Exactly what I was thinking. Yeah.
I still don't understand the logic of how the bullets go back into his hand when he never shot them at any point.
Yeah. Well,
I think the gun shot them.
The gun shot them, but who shot them with the gun?
Her.
Like a long time ago, or that would have been in the future. So then, so every time he does something, she's like, "Damn, now I have to shoot this so he can pick it up in the past."
Maybe this movie is about
because it had to have happened after he picked it up.
Yeah, it happened in the future, Jeff. The future is also the past, though.
But she's living in the present.
The present is the
so every time he did one of the bullet things, did she have to then like shoot the wall one more time so he could have picked it up in the past for that to have ever happened?
She already knew he was going to do it, Jeff, so she did it in the future.
But that hasn't happened yet in the present.
I don't know.
So I mean, she like every time he picked up a bullet, I'm imagining she just like had to like write down that she had to shoot the wall one more time.
Maybe.
Like, God damn it.
Maybe this movie's about gun control, right? And it's like, do guns kill people or right?
Or do bullets going backwards kill people?
I prefer when they curve the bullet in the movie Wanted.
See, the problem is that now every time you shoot a gun, you have to worry about if that killed someone in the past.
Yeah. Also, you know how Mythbusters they tested Wanted's theory of curving a bullet and they proved it was false? They need to do that with this movie.
Yeah.
We need to test bullets shooting backwards if they can actually shoot out of a wall into the gun.
You know, the Mythbusters guys like kind of hated each other.
Really?
Yeah. Really? They like will never work together again. Like they were like, we're a good team because like one's a straight man and one's like the crazy guy. But they're like, yeah, we don't actually like each other.
Kind of like us.
Who did you guys like better on the Mythbusters, Jamie or the bald guy? Unless he was
Jamie is the bald guy.
Jamie's the bald guy. Adam or Jamie. Yeah.
Jamie's the one who's like bald, but he kind of looks like a walrus.
I like Tori Bellecci.
Yeah. Tori was. Yeah, he was like supposed to be like the cool guy, but he was also like a nerd. Like
Right.
Rest in peace to Grant Imahara, by the way.
Yeah, Grant was the best.
I was gonna say who's
because Grant was like the one who was always excited about everything, like too much, but it was like you still liked it.
Who did they bring in when Carrie left? They brought in somebody who's not good.
I don't know. I don't think I watched it after that. That made it sound like I only watched it for Carrie.
They dropped Carrie and I was out.
They dropped Carrie and I was gone. I'm a Carrie stan.
Yeah, you are.
Yeah.
Carrie Byron.
This is an expensive movie too, which I thought was really funny. Like watch, because it's just it was so expensive in that it was like confident that it was gonna rake in so much money. Like
right.
they like pointless.
I think
during
it would have. Well, no, it would have. They shot this way before COVID.
Yeah, but like, why would they release it now?
That's what I'm saying.
Is everybody paying $20 for it? People are just gonna stream it.
Well, Nolan, right? It was released in theaters because Nolan's like, yeah, everyone's gonna go watch this. They're gonna break quarantine and go to the movies, and then people did not do that.
Though, does anybody have any other big points on this movie?
My mom thought Robert Pattinson didn't look like Robert Pattinson, and Jeff and I were like, that literally is
it's just Robert Pattinson.
Yeah,
with,
I was gonna say
lighter hair.
He has like this is the least he's been done in makeup. I feel like he looks very normal.
I feel like that's a comment that when Batman comes out, then could be like, yeah, that like because he's a mask on. You'd be like, that's Robert Pattinson, but it's literally this movie was just his face.
Yeah. Yeah.
She's like, he looks older. I'm like, he's like 31.
Where do we think that Neil and protagonist meet in the future?
I don't even.
Are we sure they don't meet in the past?
Also, wait, did Neil met him in the future, and then he sent Neil really far back in the past because Neil already knew him, but he didn't know Neil. But then where was the turnstile that Neil used to get back into the future because he had to do a turnaround?
Maybe it was the first one. When was the first one? How did they build them in the past? Did they send people from the future and then like on their way into the past,
yeah,
they built them?
Maybe.
Yeah.
But then like where like no one from the present like was like weirded out by that there's these weirdos building a thing while moving backwards and speaking backwards Estonian. Also,
yeah, it's the hardest part for me to think about is like, so the fight scene. Is this a spoiler? I don't know how this works.
We're in the spoiler section.
Okay,
yeah.
Okay. So the fight scene where he explodes. Okay, the garage door thing at the Freeport, right?
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
All that he fights the guy backwards to get into the turnstile. I don't get it. Like that fight scene was so confusing because there's two of the guys. Both the guys who came out of the turnstile were him. The one Neil let get away.
No, it's him after he went back in the turnstile to go forward again.
Yeah. But the one
he fought
was when they were backwards.
Right. So he was still going backwards in the whole fight scene.
So he was going backwards the whole fight scene.
Yeah, and then he got in the turnstile and then went forwards, and then Neil saw him when he went forwards.
In the forwards, though, he shoots back out the garage door.
In the
forwards is the backwards.
No, because he shoots.
The forwards.
Jared. He shoots into the garage door when he's going backwards, because it's the explosion goes backwards.
Okay.
So the backwards explosion shoots him into the door.
Okay, but it was the forwards to
Carson's just looking around.
See, I got a lot of cups in my room.
Okay, so he's going backwards, but fighting them while they're going forwards.
Yes.
Got it. Okay.
And then he flips in the turnstile, and then that's when he gets on Neil's side of the turnstile.
Did they want us? Okay, I thought, and correct me if I'm wrong here, that they misled us because they had obviously we all knew that protagonist was the guy who was fought by protagonist, you know, like we knew because he was wearing the same thing that guy fought, right?
Yeah.
Whereas Neil didn't have the hat on, and we knew Neil grabbed the guy's hat off. So were we supposed to believe
that it was Neil?
That Neil fought Neil and protagonist fought protagonist, but really it was both? Was that a reveal? Was that supposed to be a reveal? Because it was a reveal to me. I thought Neil fought Neil.
I don't think they expected anyone to be on top of the logic enough to really understand that.
Well, thank you. I take that as a compliment.
Yeah.
No, that's where I was at too. I just don't think that was like intentionally misleading. I think they were just like, yeah, people are not going to really know what's up anyways. So
I just knew Neil took a guy's hat off.
My approach.
We knew it was one of them. Yeah, Karsten.
I was just gonna say, as long as the protagonist was like not dead, I was like, all right, we can move on. And that's how I watched this movie.
You can say that about literally any movie.
That's what I'm saying.
As long as the protagonist.
I was like,
dead,
okay, he's still alive. We can move on.
But he fought them, and they were like, yeah, if you touch each other, like you could blow up or whatever.
Yeah.
Your atoms could like fuse or something. But like that did not really come into play at all.
Yeah.
So when red team and blue team were staging their assault, was blue team the whole time did they stage after the assault?
No, yeah.
So their staging was after the...
Right, because they were going backwards.
Yeah, so why were they staging after the assault? They just did this crazy assault and they're all sitting in office chairs looking at a presentation?
Yeah, about because for them it's forwards. It's in the future.
But had they already gone through the turnstile at that point?
Yeah, they were already going backwards. So that's why during the red team's presentation, they were like, yeah, the blue team is having this presentation 10 minutes from now. But for the blue team, the 5-minute mark is when they met. That's when their presents were the same.
Okay. But could they have looked over and seen them 10 minutes from now?
Yeah, that's what they were seeing.
They didn't see it. They blocked it off.
Yeah, they blocked. I don't know why they blocked it off.
Yeah.
Honestly, but
is it because they didn't want people to see the inverse stuff? Were people on the red team not privy to all the inverse stuff?
Were people? Some of the people on the blue team the same people that were on the red team? And they just went through the turnstile and went backwards later. I don't really.
Was the red team the blue team?
I don't know. I'm not the guy that's... You guys are both looking at me here. I'm not... Yeah.
I thought you were a movie expert.
Here's the thing. I was like, in the moment of watching this, I was barely hanging on, and I was like, okay. And then the minute it was over, it all fell apart.
Yeah, and the thing is that also it starts with them all wearing masks with the worst dialogue mix I've ever heard. So the first 5 minutes before we turned subtitles on, we did not understand like any of the words.
Yeah.
Yep.
That's the thing. A lot of people were complaining about that when it was in theaters, and they were like, maybe I just haven't been in a theater in a long time, but the sound mix in this movie is ass. And
it's
having now seen it at home, I'm like, yeah, that was terrible. And it's like, it's so muffled. I'm so glad I had subtitles on. I put them on so fast. I think everyone does when they watch this. Because it's like, also there's the scenes where people are talking in reverse, and it's so muffled that I'm like, wait, was that reversed? Or was that... Yeah.
It was a forward Estonian, backwards forward English, or reverse English. And then the subtitles had them speaking in Russian, but then the subtitle said speaking in Russian. It was covering up the translation of the English translation. Yeah. I'm like, what is happening?
What was everybody's favorite scene? Like, and I mean 15-second scene.
Well, that's not what a scene is.
Yeah, well, I'm breaking my scenes down into 15-second increments, Jeff.
You know what? When they were trying to get out of that room and they couldn't breathe, and I think protagonist destroyed the key or whatever was supposed to unpick the lock. That was cool.
Okay, but how did then it work?
I don't really think I followed how they got themselves out of that one, but I was like, oh, they got out of it.
It seemed like the scene was just like, oh, he broke it. They're screwed. Oh, wait, actually it worked anyways for some reason.
Yeah, I think
Rob Pattinson had like a key or something.
I liked Neil going backwards in time and then getting shot in the head. I thought that was funny.
Oh, yeah.
No, but I thought that was well done. So we saw the dead guy there. We're like, who the hell's that guy? How'd he get in there?
Yeah.
And then when Volkov like walks over and then the guy comes off the ground and it's just like jumps up like remember those toys where you like hit the button and the guys were like made of string and they had little wooden blocks as arms and you press the button and they fall.
Yeah.
And then you hit it and then you let go and they all come back up. That was like what that guy did.
Yeah. If someone has not seen this movie and they somehow just disregard the spoiler section and listen to us try to talk about the logic of this film.
Even if they have seen the movie, as someone who's seen the movie and listened to
this kind of reminds me of when we watched the movie yesterday.
I was gonna make a yesterday joke
movie
a few minutes ago.
No, so we watched the movie yesterday, but we watched it
like a few months ago
on a specific day. We watched it a few months ago, but the movie's called Yesterday. But this movie I watched yesterday.
We watched this movie yesterday. But when we say this movie yesterday, we're not talking about the movie yesterday.
We're not talking about the movie.
We're talking about you watched
this movie
Tenet
that we saw yesterday, but we're talking about Tenet today. But Tenet actually is the same forwards as backwards.
And up is down.
Yeah, but the yesterday we watched months ago, but we watched this movie yesterday.
Okay.
Yeah.
Got it.
And
let's move on.
And this is the holiday episode.
Is that all we have to say about Tenet?
Yeah, I was just gonna.
So now we have to say the entire thing we just said, but backwards.
I was just gonna cap it off by saying, like, I think he made this movie under the assumption that like people would really have a fun time trying to piece it together and talking about it, and the discussion would be like half the fun. Because I think that's like what people had fun with Inception and like Memento. It's like those movies are just fun. Like they're just fun to talk about. And this one, it's not even fun to talk about. It's just like a headache.
It's kind of frustrating.
The more you talk about it, the less you like the movie. Whereas those others, it's like you kind of start to appreciate what they're doing. And this one, I'm like, no.
But I feel like at the very least, you can leave it understanding what happened, if not understanding each detail of what happened.
Yeah.
Right?
Vaguely.
Like there was a scientist in the future who discovered a way that could destroy the Earth, and then she hid all the things in the past, but then the people from the future somehow found out where they are in the past, and they sent
the guy who just happened to discover the first one because he was Russian, and the Soviet Union fell because they hid them in nuclear facilities.
Yeah.
And then
And then
people kept going forwards and backwards.
And then I thought the whole like pancreatic cancer reveal thing was like that was so random.
Yeah,
right?
that seemed like that was just like a weird
and
thing.
It made sense. Like I understood it after, because I remember they made a huge point of emphasis in that one scene where he's like, if I can't have you, nobody can, and it took like 30 seconds for him to say that.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, okay, that's like what they're trying to tie in here. Like, if I can't have the world, nobody can.
Yeah.
And that's why they emphasize that so much. But it seemed like, how do they not know about that? Or like,
right?
Yeah.
How did that never come up?
So, anyways, ratings. Also, last thing about Tenet completely is that we did have to buy Tenet, so I can watch it anytime now.
Yeah. Yeah. I will say, and I think I might be alone here, but if this has another limited theater run when theaters are okay again, I doubt it will. But if that happens, like, I'd go. Because I had fun. I had enough fun to be like, yeah, that would be cool to see it in a theater.
Would they have subtitles in a theater?
I don't think so, which would suck. But,
yeah.
Yeah, I'm feeling
well, now you own it. You bring your phone and stream it simultaneously. On
yeah,
Amazon
yeah. I can just read and...
I feel like Alamo Drafthouse would do like a showing of Tenet showing subtitles.
Yeah. So what are you guys feeling for a rating?
3 is out of 5.
Okay.
Let me check what I gave it. I think it was a 3.5. I liked it more than I thought I would.
I would give it a... Wait, what if it's out of... I can do...
You could do halves.
Yeah.
Can I do quarters?
No.
Can I do 2 separate ratings? One is where each is a half, one half below, one half above.
Why would you need quarters? That would make it out of 20. Because half stars and 5 is already out of 10. You need to be so specific. It needs to be out of 20.
Okay, in terms of, it's hard because I was thoroughly entertained like any Christopher Nolan movie. Like there's no dull moments in the whole movie. Mm-hmm. However, it was kind of confusing and it was really, really long. If it was shorter, like if they cut out like half an hour of the first hour and a half of the movie, somehow I would have liked it more. But yeah, probably a 3.75.
That's okay. You know what? I can get down with that. I mean, I said 3.5. I would not bump it up a quarter personally, but yeah. That's Tenet. We have another movie to talk about.
We actually watched another movie.
Yeah.
Yesterday?
I watched it today.
Wait, so Jared's not...
Jared, I didn't tell Jared what it was, but I figure...
Have I seen it?
Well,
no.
Here's the thing.
Is it Long Toes?
No.
So I think that we can try to explain the plot of this movie to Jared.
Yeah, instead of reading the synopsis.
So you want to take turns? Yeah, let's just take turns.
So this movie's called... Are we saying the title first, right?
I know. It's the SpongeBob movie, right?
No. Well, we should do that eventually.
No.
This one is... we watched The Tangerine Bear because it's the Christmas episode, so we need to watch a Christmas movie.
It's a Christmas movie.
Is that the James and the Giant Peach sequel?
No.
Came out in 2000, directed by Burt Ring, and it's about a teddy bear who he's in a factory and he accidentally gets a frowny face instead of a smiley face.
Okay, so the way he gets the frowny face is that the guy who is overseeing the production line, a mouse bites into his lunch. And what happens is he gets distracted by the mouse. So he's not paying attention to the line. And then the mouse himself runs and tries to hide behind a bear. And then jumps on the bear's head and knocks him over. So when they are stamping on the faces, they stamp it on upside down.
Okay. Is this like a Pixar short or something?
No, it's in two dimensions.
I think it's like a PBS thing, maybe. It's
so
like a...
So then
I don't know.
Yeah, the bear is voiced by Jonathan Taylor Thomas.
Why?
Howie Mandel is in this, right?
Yeah, Howie Mandel's in it. Is it Marlon Wayans in it?
I don't.
Also,
yeah.
David Hyde Pierce is in it.
From Frasier?
Yeah, from Frasier.
So
Niles from Frasier, yeah.
I don't.
So yeah, the plot though is Jared. He got the frowning face upside down. Then he gets sent. There's a weird musical where all the other bears jump out of their boxes in the truck and they all start singing about how like it's gonna be cool that they're like getting bought or something.
How long is the movie?
It's 48 minutes long. Yeah, and then they get to the store and no one will buy this bear. And then one kid's like, I want this bear. And then he sees it has a frowning face. Like, I don't want
and
this
he's like,
bear.
it was a very pointless scene. They could have cut that, to be honest. But
it was just
are you guys doing improv?
No, this is a real movie.
Are you guys both making up a movie?
So
this is a real movie.
Now you're like,
at a time?
When does the Tangerine come into play?
Yeah.
Yeah,
And
so that's another 25 minutes at least.
25 minutes into the movie, they're like,
yeah.
He gets, how does he get Tangerine again?
So I'll get to that part.
All right.
So Jared, here's the thing. He gets put into a discount bin, and then no one will buy him from that. So then the discount bin gets emptied into like this weird wooden chest, just for shipping. I don't know why they used a wooden chest. That would cost so much money to ship.
It would.
But then they deliver it to this guy who runs like a used item store.
Yeah.
And this guy's like, I just love old things. He's like, one of the things like an umbrella without a handle. And umbrellas cost like $3. So he's like, I gotta fix this umbrella and put a handle on it, which would cost more than the umbrella itself. I don't know why he had to do that. But anyways, he puts the bear in this window. And then the bear, what happens is he sees that there's a wooden chair that they're using to like hold a plant or something. But then there's this dog that the guy left in charge. And the dog is the security force for this...
Thrift shop?
For this thrift shop.
Yeah.
So what happens is then the bear's like, I got to get that chair. I need to be propped up so someone will buy me when I'm sitting in this window next to this Jack in the Box and this cuckoo clock and this mermaid clock. Right. So he goes. He sneaks past the dog, but then the dog sees him when he's about to steal this chair. So then what happens is he tries to reason with the dog, but then he knocks over this he knocks over the flower pot or whatever. And then the dog chases him, and then they break like everything in the store. And then the owner comes down and is like, "Dog, what the hell did you just do?" Oh. So the dog's in trouble. But the thing is, he's a nice old guy, so he doesn't really make the dog in trouble. But then, like, I don't know, it's kind of weird, right? But then eventually some guy comes and buys the mermaid clock, and that was like one of their best friends because all these items are anthropomorphic. They all talk to each other.
Oh, so
but they also talk to the dog.
Said that.
Yeah, they all talk to the dog as well.
Wait, why'd the dog chase the bear?
Because the dog didn't like him. He didn't like the cut of his jib.
Wait, had they been in conversation at this point?
No, they hadn't. He hadn't met the dog yet. This was like the first day he was there. He tried to take this chair.
Yeah.
Right. So then the mermaid clock gets taken, but then like the old guy who runs a shop had to be a Santa Claus for like some kids. So then while they were gone, the dog ran away. And the dog, actually, they had to rescue the dog. So they worked together to rescue the dog. Like the Jack in the Box was afraid of getting in his own box. But then to rescue the dog, he overcame his fear. And then he popped out. And then he grabbed the door and like unlocked it because the dog was out freezing. And the owner was like going to let him die for some reason.
Wait, did the owner know he was out there?
Well, the owner knew he was out there, but he stopped looking. He just waited for the dog. And the dog didn't come. He's like, I'm just going to go to sleep.
It's not very nice.
It's not very nice. It was literally snowing. It was a blizzard. And so the toys had to save the dog.
Oh.
So they let the dog back, and then the dog decides he likes them because he saved their life. Or they saved his life.
It's about kindness.
But anyways, the old
Where's
man
the
was
tangerine?
Santa Claus.
Where's the tangerine?
We're getting there.
So we're getting
like
to
10 more minutes. So Jared, the old man, then this is when he becomes the Santa Claus. He goes out in a Santa Claus thing, and then the dog's like, hey, I'm going to show these toys a good time because no one bought them. So then the dog puts like a sled together, and he like has him in a wagon behind him. And then he starts walking so he can look at the Christmas lights. Right?
Okay.
But then the Tangerine bear, who's not Tangerine yet. Actually, wait, maybe he is Tangerine at this point. He is Tangerine. So anyways, he became Tangerine because he laid out in the sun. Because he was sitting in the sun for so long in the window, it just bleached his brown hair tangerine colored. So then he had to flip around so his backside was Tangerine as well. But anyways, he's Tangerine, but he fell in the snow. And he's outside. And then the old man dressed as Santa Claus found him. And he's like, how'd you get out here? And then all the toys thought he was Santa Claus because he was dressed as Santa Claus. And they were like, see, Santa Claus is real. But then, what happens after that, Karsten?
Karsten didn't watch the movie.
Okay, so I'm trying to remember. I do remember now what happened. So after he's like Santa Claus, it's kind of back to normal. Someone comes in and tries to buy the Tangerine bear. And they're saying, actually, the fact he was a rare toy collector. So after the guy comes in, right, he's like, this bear is actually super rare, and I'll give you $200 for it because his mouth is sewn on upside down, and that makes him valuable. So the message there is that sometimes the differences we have are what make us more valuable. But then he also tries to buy the Jack in the Box. The cuckoo bird that lives inside the clock also never comes out. So except when the owner's not around. So the owner doesn't even know he exists. He just thinks it's a broken cuckoo clock. But anyway, that's unrelated to what I've been saying. So anyways, the guy tries to buy, the rare toy collector tries to buy the Jack in the Box and the bear. And he's like $200. And then the toy collector's like, or the guy who owns the shop is like, actually, no, these are my friends. Because the guy who owns the shop has no friends, and he's like an old guy. So the toys thought that he was trying to sell them, but it turns out they were the friends. So the guy's like, actually $300, and the guy's like, nah, I'm good. I'm gonna keep my friends, and he calls them his family, which actually is really weird.
Yeah.
This old guy.
What's the point of having a shop if you're not gonna sell your shit?
Right. But then the guy's like, actually, you saw other interesting stuff, so I'm gonna tell my friends to come to the shop and buy your stuff.
Why would he do that? He just declined to sell him stuff.
He did.
Why would you send your friend, hey, why don't you go, this guy's got some cool stuff. Oh, is he going to sell it? No.
Yeah, I honestly, it's kind of murky on how this guy keeps his shop open.
Why did you watch this?
Well, so last year we watched I'll Be Home for Christmas.
Another Jonathan Taylor Thomas.
So this was the only other Jonathan Taylor Thomas Christmas movie.
Yeah.
Also, he's actually a really weird voice for this bear, to be honest.
It was really
bad casting.
I forgot that we chose this because of Jonathan Taylor Thomas, and I was like, who is this? And I was like, oh.
Right. So anyways, then all the toys, instead of wanting to be bought, they all realize that they're already at home with each other. Except for that one of their best friends was this mermaid clock, and then the mermaid clock got bought, so clearly the owner didn't care about that mermaid clock.
No, not at all.
Which is kind of weird. That's a weird message.
Yeah. So what are you feeling for a rating on this one, Jeff?
Yeah, so honestly, it was like 1.5. It was pretty bad.
Yeah. Great discussion.
Are you expecting anybody to have watched that movie, or you just listen to your recap?
This is what I realized 5 minutes into the movie. I was like, so wait, we forgot to announce that we were watching this, so no one's gonna have seen it. No one has seen this already.
Right.
This will be a double feature episode, so people are already tired of the movie talk. So,
especially because the first movie was already like super long.
Right. So, yeah, I was like, we'll just let Jeff explain the movie, and then
did you guys make people spend $20 to watch Tenet?
We didn't make them.
Do anything. I think a lot of people have already seen Tenet, to be honest.
Yeah.
So I was like, I'm not too worried.
More people have seen Tenet than most of the movies we pick.
I felt bad about Kajillionaire, which was $20 also, and I don't think. Well,
Kajillionaire, I think, was a better movie.
It was a great movie. It's probably the best movie of the year. But yeah.
When I was on last, we watched MacGruber,
another action movie that was
Jeff's favorite movie.
It's not my favorite.
Jeff said it was one of his favorite movies.
It was one of my favorite parody action movies of 2010.
For sure. One of, not the best, though.
No, definitely not.
Cool. Well, we can get into questions. We do have...
Yeah, we should do that.
Do
you have any last thoughts about Tangerine Bear?
I never had any first ones. Let's get into the questions.
So, all right. So these come from the subreddit and from the Patreon. I will say that the Patreon bonus episode will be there by the end of the month. There are more questions this month than there have ever been. And Jeff and I have not
answer all of them.
Recorded an episode yet, so it's going to be a big one.
We didn't do one.
So,
Patreon.com/Karstcast.
Yeah, where we might give Never mind.
Where we might.
But no, yeah.
We might do it.
If you pledge $15, though, you can get your question answered in these episodes. This first one
also,
what?
Last thing, we are doing a patron Zoom hangout.
The 27th, yep. So be out on the lookout for that. There's more information on the Twitter and on the Patreon.
Also, make sure to follow Jeff's YouTube account. He is almost at 1,000 subscribers.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not at 900 yet, but
we're almost at 1,000.
Yeah, relative to 0. Yes.
So this first one comes from Jacob Colness, and it's this might actually just be for me, but I'm sure Jeff can maybe chip in on this. It's what's a Minnesota/Midwestern trope/stereotype you try to avoid? I lived in LA for 3 years, and when I came back to Minnesota, I refused to say pop over soda because suddenly the word didn't sound right anymore.
I lived in the Midwest for 4 years.
Oh.
And my girlfriend is from a Milwaukee suburb.
Okay.
My least favorite, I have a number of things I dislike. Again, when I went up there, they all thought I was weird because I say bagel instead of bagel. They made fun of me for that. Granted, they all say bag instead of bag, which is weird. My least favorite Midwestern things. They say hammock instead of hammock. Do you do that?
I say hammock.
Oh, Jeff.
I also say bagel and bag. And
now, but you don't do the Wisconsin thing, which is called a water fountain, a bubbler.
No, that's
weird.
Fucked up.
My girlfriend does that. My girlfriend does that like legitimately. Like,
Wait, really?
That's what she calls a water fountain, a bubbler.
That's so weird.
Yeah, I don't like it.
Yeah.
So does that mean that she thinks the primary purpose is to make bubbles?
No, it's because the first ever brand of water fountain was called the Bubbler, and so they just started calling it that. And
It's like Kleenex.
Yeah.
Yeah. I feel like this sounds cynical, and it's not a specific word, but I don't like the Minnesota niceness that much. It's not real and it's fake. I don't know and I think this is just general Midwestern niceness, but they are way too nice in every interaction, and it's never authentic. And I'm like, you're just saying this, and that's.
What do you think about the 10,000 lakes?
There's more than that, first of all, and I don't have a problem with it. I love our lakes. Our 10,000, yeah.
Do you ever just walk in a straight line? You just keep walking in lakes?
Yeah. My favorite one, because you guys asked, is the Whiteface Reservoir. So that's.
You strike me as more of a Minnetonka guy.
I don't. Okay, if we're talking Minnetonka, I don't like Minnetonka. I do like Lake Harriet a lot too. But yeah. Anyways, Jeff, do you have any Midwestern things you don't like, or?
Nah.
All right.
It's
cool.
all right.
Cool. This next one comes from Cyhots9292, and it is, which of you do you think is the better driver? Do you have a good driving or car story? This is open to the whole tape. Like,
so I'm gonna say it's not Karsten because he kept calling a 6-hour drive a road trip.
Yeah, it's not a road trip.
It's not a road trip.
It's a long drive, but it's close to a road trip. 8 hours is a road trip.
So, yeah, I mean, I don't know. I feel like the fact that I've driven 18 hours straight from Chicago to Florida without stopping, besides for gas, is probably, I don't know, that might make me a bad driver.
No, well.
Because you probably shouldn't do that.
Without gas?
No, I got gas. How fuel efficient do you think my car is?
Well, I know it's not battery efficient. Jeff has a great story about his car battery.
No, I don't.
Yes, you do.
It just dies a lot because I got a badly installed stereo system because my car is old, so it didn't have an auxiliary cable even.
Yeah.
Jeff got a stereo system installed that drains his battery, so he doesn't run his car every 2 weeks. His car stereo drains his battery.
And when I lived in Chicago, like the winters, it would be even faster. I'd have to start my car every 5 days.
Jesus.
Minimum.
Yeah.
So sometimes
cartoons.
Yeah, so sometimes my car would just be it would just be packed in snow, and I'm like, I don't want to drive anywhere. Everything's just but I have to go sit in my car.
You just sit in your car?
I would just turn my car on and I would make sure the exhaust was not plugged with snow, and then just
But don't you need to charge
the
battery?
No, you don't. No, you don't need to. You could just have it started.
Yeah.
Because the alternator is then converting gas power into electricity.
My car got totaled when it was parked.
Oh, that's a terrible situation.
That's how bad of a driver he is.
He wasn't even driving.
I parked
on the freeway.
I parked it outside my friend's place, and then I left, and then I got a call from his mom, and they're like, hey, some guy just hit your car. Some old guy was driving down the road, and apparently what he told the cop who came was well, yeah, the sun was in my eyes, so I was trying to drive and get the sun over the roof of the car. So he was just driving blind, just beating down, trying to get the sun out of his eyes, instead of putting down his thing. And then he just smashed the front right side of my car, and it bent the frame.
Oh, my God.
And then I got the car that I have today with the insurance money.
And nice. That car has an engine that is not necessarily...
I got it fixed.
Okay, wow. There you go.
Nice.
So anyways, I think that all of us are not going to be the best in a large room of people.
No. Well, wait, what?
I have never been in a crash.
I have never been in a crash either.
I have been in a few minor crashes. My first one was
okay, so you lose. You're definitely not.
Well, okay, so yeah, I'm not a great driver. I'm not good at. There's a lot of icy roads here, and my first, I didn't know that this was my first year having a car, and I did a fender bender, into this girl. It was after school, and we were pulling out of the parking lot, and I hit her car, and I didn't know what to do, so I just...
So you drove away?
I drove past her, and I said, shh, and kept driving, and then she called me on the phone and was like, hey, please come back here, and I was like, all right, I'm coming back. And
wait, you knew her?
I knew her personally, and I was just like, it didn't make a big scratch, so I guess I could just be like, shh, it's fine. And then I drove away. And then, and the thing is, she's been in a lot of accidents, so I think she just forgot about that incident and was like, yeah, don't worry about it. So I got away with it.
Why was she incentivized to keep quiet about it?
I don't know. That was my first instinct, was to be like, keep quiet.
Because he was the big man on campus. He was on the swim team, so she didn't want to.
I was not. She was, for the record, I think like the most popular person in our class, and I was
probably
not.
Because she didn't report crimes.
Yeah. She
but, like, doing what you did, if you had done it more threateningly, it could have been like pretty bad.
That's what I'm saying.
Like,
shh. Okay. Also, the Spanish teacher was right behind me when this happened, so it was just really humiliating when I like turned around and came back, and the Spanish teacher was just like, what are you doing? And I was like, I'm sorry, senora. And
yeah. I mean, one time when I was in a drive-thru at a Taco Bell at like 2 a.m., some guy behind me in the drive-thru just hit my car. Yeah, and I was like, it was literally as I was like having my arm out the door to like hand like money to the guy, and then the guy's like, yeah, you should go make sure that guy didn't mess you up. That's what the guy handing me the food said.
Make sure he didn't mess you up?
Yeah.
Did you go check?
Yeah, I did, and then it was like there wasn't really even a mark, but
maybe that guy was giving you a warning that your rear was gonna get hurt for being at Taco Bell.
Oh, okay.
Right? Because
edit that.
We have one more.
Anyways, yeah. One more question.
This one comes from El Momento de Owen, and it is mental health tips. My serotonin kinda lacking, not gonna lie. You guys got any good mental health tips for El Momento de Owen?
Yeah. Okay. Take vitamin D.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, Jared.
Go outside in the sun and get vitamin D.
Yeah, both. Get out in the sun a bit. Also, like, take vitamin D. I think vitamin D is like the best vitamin. I would say that's my number one vitamin.
Vitamin D.
I like vitamin X. As we go up.
That's vitamin C.
Damn it! Who's vitamin X? Look it up.
I don't know. I have no idea who vitamin X is.
Is that a person, or is it just a vitamin? Is that what the Powder Puff Girls were made out of?
Vitamin X. I'm looking it up.
I thought that was sugar and spice and everything nice.
And then they
it's a
accidentally
band.
put in...
Vitamin X is a band. They did About to Crack and
yeah, so that's a different. I typed in vitamin X and I just keep getting Vitamix blenders.
That makes sense. Yeah, I understand.
Yeah, Vitamin X is a band, Jared, but they're like a metal band. They're not.
Damn.
They do not sing Graduation.
Maybe they have a cover.
Genres are crazy. They're listed under jazz, acapella, hardcore punk, bandana thrash.
What?
That's Vitamin X. It's a Dutch hardcore punk.
Can you play a song? Or are we gonna
no, we can't. We're gonna.
No, we're not gonna.
Yeah, I had a like my number 5 genre on my Spotify Wrapped was like it started with a C. It was like what was it? It was like
charcuterie.
It was not charcuterie. I guess I'll look it up real quick.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, here it is. Chanson.
What's Chanson?
So it turns out it's like some genre of like French music because I was listening to some French music. But anyways, yeah.
Chanson.
It sounds like a name. Like it seems that Chanson.
Yeah.
My tip,
Karsten and Chanson,
is to take breaks from social media.
That's
a good one. Especially now that everybody's on their phones all the time. Every time I say something like that, I think of that. I think you should leave sketch where it's like, we're so glued to our phones. Anyways.
Have you seen I Think You Should Leave?
I've seen every episode. Okay, it's very funny.
It's really good. I also just finished How To with John Wilson.
Okay, I still haven't seen more than the first one, but
that's what I was like. I'd only seen the first one for like 2 weeks, and then I watched every other episode in one day. It's so love it.
Isn't Nathan Fielder on that?
He's the executive producer.
Yeah. Well, we'll get into our wrap up then. Damn, I thought we were gonna be over an hour. We're not even over an hour. But yeah, this we haven't talked about the next movie. But Jeff, would you be opposed to talking about Promising Young Woman? It's a new movie coming out. It looks pretty good. It'll be out on Christmas.
I have not heard of it.
I just watched the movie Run.
Oh, I've heard about Run. What'd you think?
Well, save it for my episode. Right. Jeff's not going to be on it. Just me and Karsten.
There's a Runquist joke somewhere in there, but
yes.
yeah. So we'll talk about it. I'll tweet out if we change our minds. But yeah,
we announce it and then we're like,
actually kidding. We're gonna talk about Tenet again. Next, we like to read a review to encourage you guys to leave reviews, and we also just love hearing what you have to say. And this one comes from Emma the Onion. The subject line is "Yes, Karstcast, woohoo." 5 stars, and it reads, I have no idea how I found this podcast because I didn't watch Karsten's channel in the first place, but I'm very happy I did. I've been a listener for about a year now, and it's my favorite show of all time. I look forward to Mondays every week since it means a new episode to listen to after a demeaning shift folding clothes at Macy's. Just kidding, my job isn't that bad, but I seriously love this podcast, and even though it isn't very informative, it made me much more interested in film, and now I am annoying about movies and symbolism and whatever to all my friends. Thank you, Karsten and Jeff. P.S. I love Jaxie. Please have her on another episode.
Wow, Jared, they didn't say I love Jared. That would have been rude.
Been on 4 times.
Super embarrassing. Yeah.
Thank you for that.
Thank you.
I actually had to volunteer because the way Florida works is to
community service. Yeah.
It was not community service. It was because Florida has like a program where you get like part of your tuition if you go to a state school paid for if you volunteer. Mm-hmm. So I volunteered at an aquarium, and Jared got to do like the cool stuff, like do like boat tours and stuff.
Yeah.
And I had to fold clothes in the in the gift shop.
Doesn't sound too bad.
I was the counselor for the summer camp, and Jeff folded clothes, and it was the same program. Those were like the 2 things. Did you have to use one of those?
I did use one of those. Yeah, it made it way easier. But
by machine, I mean like a classic machine, not like it's not like electrical.
Yeah, it's not electrical.
Oh, that would have replaced you actually.
Yeah, they wouldn't have needed me.
Damn.
Yeah.
Cool.
So yeah. See, I was just relating to the folding.
Right. I was like, "Where's this going?" And then you were like, "Oh."
I fold my laundry. So I also.
You wanted the boards?
I don't have the board.
Yeah. Lastly, we'd like to thank our patrons over at patreon.com/Karstcast. Go over there if you want to get in on the fun. We have exclusive access to bonus episodes, Q&As, shout-outs at the end of every episode, Zoom Hangouts, and much, much more. We definitely lacked a little bit this month, but we're going to come back strong in the next year.
We're going to do a double length.
Yeah, it'll be a long one. But anyways, thank you, Addison Ware. Airbud, next week we are talking about Airbud. Allison Grace, Annabelle Falk, Bex, Blake Root, Boat, Brandon Yu, Brock Schultz, Camilla Eden, Fozzie Bear, Grant Gow, Harry Remedianakis, Holly Edwards, Iron Tusk 93, Isabel Iva, Jaden Easton, Jacob Colness, Jane V, John Van Hout, Joshua Krizwicki, Kara M, KDT, Kevin Turner, Liqui, Liv Rob, Lucian Vicina, Luke Vinyard, Maddie Robertson, Martin Deff, Martina, Mary Lee Borislow, Micah Simmons, Michael Decker, Moses Sox, Monroe Page, Parks, Ready Steady Ernie, Riley Oust, Riley Ost, pronounced like Australia, Robert Burke, Ronald Cumquist, Saba Samfar, Shadow the Hedgehog, Sophia Arieta, Supercalifragilisticexpialidocious, Smitty Warbin, Jagerman Jensen, Taylor Hardy, 10 Big Country Billion, Toad Pimp, Tom Lake Beans, Vegard Strom, Vera S. William Fontaine, Jalbert, Yoki Sasquatch, and Yusef A.
So is it normal for you to not let me plug myself before you read 75 names in a row?
Well, you plugged yourself right at the beginning.
You did promote your podcast, yeah, but...
Well, that's not what I want to promote.
Okay.
Follow and subscribe to Jeffrey Borislow's YouTube channel. The hottest content about milestones of YouTube and other stuff too, probably.
Mm-hmm. I'm going to be doing a lot more videos in the near future because I haven't done one in about a month. But my last one, you should check out. Carson's in it.
I want Jeff to get to 900 subscribers by next podcast.
I had to pay Karsten $35 to be in the last video.
I believe that.
That's my rate, yeah. Don't get a lot of requests, but cool.
Also, you can find me on Cameo.
You actually can find Jared on Cameo.
Are you on
That's
Cameo?
A real thing.
I'm on Cameo.
No way. Oh my god.
Yeah, I have a friend who works there, and because I'm verified, they just got me in.
Yeah.
I could probably get you in.
Me?
Be on Cameo?
I'm on Cameo already.
You are?
Yeah, I've been on Cameo for like over a year now.
How many cameos have you done?
If
I've done like 5 or 6. I'd never promote it. So, and I've been getting requests recently.
What's your price? What's your price? Just tell me.
What is the price? I haven't opened it in a while. Let me actually wait. Let me just. What would it be under? Give me.
Jared, your price is only $5. That's a great deal.
I move between 5 and 10 depending on demand.
Mine is. Oh wait, that's my earnings. Wait, where does it say my price? Guys, I'm sorry.
I think you go. It's on your profile.
I mean,
edit profile. Wait,
someone should pay for one of each of them and have them be to each other.
I'm only $10. $10. Yeah.
I'm $10 right now. I've done 25 cameos.
Seriously.
Yeah, book Jared.
See,
you can actually have him do a cameo, and then it has to be for me.
My favorite cameo I've done is I randomly get cameos from like realtors who want a social media ad done, and they're like, "Hey, can you say my apartment's really small, I need to upgrade, who do I go to?" or some shit like that, and then it'll be like for a commercial for their realty company.
Wow.
And they pay me $10.
They pay you $10 to say, my apartment's really small, who should I go to?
Yeah, and to prove my apartment was small, I was sitting at my desk and I took a bunch of cans out and I pretended like my desk was also my pantry. So I just
so you actually, that's for $10, that's actually
good value.
Yeah.
For sure.
You're kind of adding some extra layers.
Dude.
Now I'll say this. You can also, I'll say whatever you want me to say about Jeff.
That's going to rake in some big bucks.
Yeah.
I'm not going to lie. There are people, there's a demand.
Put it in the Reddit.
Yeah.
Put it in the Reddit.
Kevin.
You don't want to see the Reddit.
I've seen the Reddit.
At this point, it's like 50%.
Didn't you do Coke?
I didn't do Coke. People voted that I should do Coke by an overwhelming margin.
It is like 2 users at this point posting.
The thing is that at this point, half of the posts are people who do the deep fakes of Karsten and I.
Yeah.
So they just keep putting our faces on things.
Yeah.
So if you actually like don't want to go to sleep and have to be awake for a long time, just go on our subreddit, and then after you see that, you won't be able to go to sleep.
I don't know if you've checked it recently, Jeff. I checked in on it this morning because I was like, I haven't looked at the subreddit in a while, and they are saying you're dead. There's like 4 different posts about someone's like interesting choice to kill off Jeff this season, and then someone said we got Jeff too. So that's what's...
Yeah, it's me.
Yeah, that's Jared.
I'm here to... This is Jeff's last episode.
Jared is just Jeff too. Yeah, so that's what's going on in the subreddit.
Yep. Yeah.
Anyways, that about does it for this episode. Jared, thanks for being here.
Subscribe to Jeffrey Borislow on YouTube. 900 subscribers by next week.
Yep. And Jeff?
Yeah, and also follow Jared on his social medias. What are they? At Jared Borislow?
Yes. Yeah. I'm verified.
He's verified, not on Instagram.
No.
But on Twitter.
Yeah.
Yes.
Anyways.
As mentioned in Jeff's Twitter bio.
Yeah. Right. Well, Jeff, do you have anything else to say?
Catch you on the flip side.
Oh, wait.
Just
hold on. Shouts to one Karstcast listener, Callum in it, who I was playing, I stream on Twitch. By the way, follow me on Twitch. If you're on Twitch, twitch.tv/SirJBone. It's my Twitch. I'm growing it.
Yeah.
It's growing big. Anyways, I'm playing Twitch one night, and I play with, like, people watching the stream. If there's nobody in the party, or, like, we have room for one more, I'll add somebody in. And I thought this guy followed me on Twitter, and I'm like, hey, how did you like find out about me? How did you get to this Twitch stream? And he goes, oh, I followed Jeff. I listened to the Karstcast. So I was like, what? It was how did a Karstcast listener got to my stream because of Karstcast?
Wow.
So there we go.
There you go.
Wow.
Shout out to Callum.
Callum in it. Yeah.
Callum in it.
He's
from London, but he sounds like he's from Northern Ireland.
Wow. That's awesome. All right.
Nice.
Well, Jeff, do you have anything else to say?
I'm just making sure Jared wasn't going to say anything else. Catch you on the flip side.
Catch you on the flip side.
You have to whisper it.
Catch you on the flip side.